I've got a big bag of peanuts. We've already gone through one whole bag this size and half of another, and our farmer Greg gave us another bag of peanuts, so we're going to shell these and make some homemade peanut butter. So good. All right. And we're going to use these peanuts that came right off of our farm, grew actually right across the pond. And so we're going to shell these peanuts, and then we're going to roast them, and then we're going to make some very yummy homemade peanut butter. So stay tuned. Most of these peanuts are doubles. They have 2 peanuts inside, but every now and then we'll get a triple. I don't see any in this pile. So we're going to shell about 2 cups of peanuts. And we're going to stick them in the oven and roast them. And then comes the yummy part. There we still have sticks. Now, if you don't have a peanut field on your property that you can get fresh peanuts from, you could get a bag of raw peanuts from the grocery store and do this yourself. Just shell them and then roast them. All right, we've gotten 2 cups of peanuts shelled, so we're going to turn our oven on 300. Start. And I use parchment paper now. I used to always use tinfoil, but now I use parchment paper. So I just spread them out so that there's plenty of space in between. And doesn't really matter if you warm up your oven or not. I always go ahead and stick them in and add the timer. So I'll go ahead and put those in. And because it's not preheated, I'll set the timer to 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, because I don't like them dark roasted, I like light roasted. So after we roast them, we will make some peanut butter. All right, so after your peanuts come out of the oven, roasted for about 20 minutes on 300, then let them cool, and then you need to make sure that you get the husks off before you make your peanut butter. They won't be very good with the husks on them, really. And they slip right off. And then we'll be ready. All right, we're ready to make our peanut butter. I've got Luana oil. I've measured out a half a cup, but generally it only takes about a quarter. And I've got about a cup and a half of peanuts that we've roasted, and infield honey, and clary sage seems to be the best tasting of the honey. Now you can use store-bought honey, but local honey is always better. It just tastes fresh. And Redmond salt, I used to use a little bit of that because it's very salty. So I'm gonna start by putting my peanuts in the processor. Doesn't really work in a blender. You really need something strong like a processor, unless you like chunky peanut butter. But I like ours smooth. So I'm gonna put it in here and put it on high for a while until it powders it. We're gonna check. And that's pretty well powdered. That looks good. Just a little bit more for good measure. And I did put a few more peanuts than I usually do. I usually only do about a cup. This was more like a cup and a half to 2 cups. So that's going to take a little bit more to process. That's okay. So we're going to start that. Now at this point, I'm going to add, you can see that it's fairly sticky still. I'm going to add some honey. And honestly, I don't really measure it. I just eyeball it. So I'm guessing it would be about a 1/4 cup. I like it sweet. You can adjust, and then just a pinch of the Redmonds because it is a very, very salty salt. So just a little bit, not even 1/8 teaspoon. And I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Typically, I put in a quarter of a cup, but this is a little bit more peanut than I usually do. Check it. It's still just a little bit chunky, but it's getting there. Maybe just a dribble more. I'm going to taste it and make sure that it's sweet with honey. It is good. A dribble more of honey. And a dribble more of oil. I still may only use a little more than a 1/4 cup. I just measured out a half and I still have quite a bit left. Check again. Oh, it looks good. It's a lot smoother this time. I like it to be a little bit pourable, and that way when it sets up, it's delicious. So that looks about good. So I'm gonna get a little pint jar. I found that putting it in small little jars keeps it fresher, longer. Well, I won't say fresher, longer. There are no preservatives in it, and I do keep it in the refrigerator, but we use it up a little quicker that way if it's in smaller jars. And quite honestly, I do not buy grocery store peanut butter anymore. I was a tried and true Jif girl. That's the oven on the second round of peanuts. I was a tried and true Jif girl, nothing but Jif, but now it's nothing but homemade. It's funny how your tastes change. So we're gonna get this here so you can see. I'm gonna do it left-handed, which might not be a good idea, but oh, it's so good, this peanut butter. Please make homemade peanut butter for yourselves. It doesn't take very long, and the taste is beyond belief. Fresh. Can't beat fresh. Fresh is always best. So there you have it. Homemade peanut butter. And for us, made with the peanuts grown on this farm. Enjoy.